When I first started getting into barefoot shoes, I was very disgruntled that I was going to have to transition into something that I didn't like the look. So I've been wearing barefoot shoes for a long time, and I've consistently been hunting for the best looking barefoot shoes. And I think I found some pretty good options. So in this video, we're gonna cover some of these and we're gonna rank them. And there's different styles for different occasions. And hopefully you'll be able to find what you're looking for, because there's a lot better options on the market now than when I first started getting into barefoot shoes. We got a bunch of shoes to talk about. So these are the different comparison variables that we're gonna be looking at. Let's get into the comparison. Okay, let's start with the everyday sneaker from Origo. This is an incredible shoe. It's made out of canvas and it's super lightweight. It's very flexible, very, very barefoot. This is a great everyday shoe, just like the name of the shoe. So if you wanna walk around town or you wanna go to a social event, this is perfect, okay? Very casual, very low key. It looks like a Van or like a 𝐂𝐇𝐏 or something. And it's even got this little smiley face there on the back. I love that. It is very barefoot. So there's like no support whatsoever. Very, very thin sole. So if you're gonna be walking a lot, you definitely are going to want to be an experienced like barefooter, because otherwise you might hurt your feet. So I was wearing these when I was in Europe and I walked about 20,000 steps a day. And at the end of the day, my feet definitely hurt. So I have some more work to do on the strength of my feet. But I think if you're really into barefoot and you want that super wide toe box, then this is going to be a great option for you. As far as the steez factor goes, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's not the best looking shoe of the bunch, but it's a good looking barefoot shoe. You can hardly tell that it's barefoot. Comfort, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 as well. It's a very comfortable shoe. It's just, you need to be a seasoned vet when it comes to this shoe. You got to have strong feet, and if you don't, it's going to hurt and you're going to feel it. So quality, I'm also going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's very nicely made. They own their own supply chain in Mexico and it's handcrafted. So there's a lot of love that goes into the making of these shoes. They pay their people good wages. It's a big deal. However, once I started wearing these a lot, I tend to wear my barefoot shoes without any socks. So I actually want to be able to splay, and I don't always want to put on toe socks, and these get smelly fast. So because of what they're made out of, the canvas, if you're gonna be walking around in your bare feet, then you're gonna get a smell. And also this part did start to rip for me on my other pair over time, because I'm grabbing it, then I'm putting on the shoe, and you do that enough times and that's when it starts to rip. Next category is gonna be price. These are 88 bucks, 10 out of 10 for the price. Such a good deal for quality shoes. It doesn't get much better than this other than those cheapo ones on Amazon, but no one wants to wear those. Those don't look very good. And for the daddy factor, which is the last category, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. They're not my favorite shoes out of the bunch, but they're great. And for the price point, you really can't beat them. That's gonna give the everyday sneaker a total wellness study score of 38 out of 50. Not bad. Original Mesh by Feelgrounds. These are some of the best looking barefoot shoes that I first stumbled upon them. So I made an entire dedicated video to these. They're very simple. They have a nice design here on the back of their shoe. I love it. However, I have not worn these shoes that much, and I'm gonna tell you why. These shoes are too wide for me. They are huge toe box. So if you have super wide feet, these might be great for you. These might be the most barefoot shoes that I have on this table right now. I could not walk very far in these because my feet really hurt. So if you want the super thin sole, you want like that as close to minimalist as possible, this could be a really good option for you. It's got this breathable mesh. Also, so if you're a big sweaty foot guy, this might be a good option for you as well. Steez factor, I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10. They're nothing crazy. They're just low profile. If you have the wide feet, then no one's ever gonna know that you are wearing barefoot shoes. But if you're a smaller guy like me who's got smaller feet, smaller legs, then you might be looking at a Donald Duck situation. I can't wear them for that reason, but I still think they're a good option and they look good because of how kind of low profile they are. Comfort, I'm gonna give them a 6 out of 10. You're just standing on rock, okay? You're naked in these. For me, it's not very comfortable to be that naked. Quality, these are also not the nicest. 6 out of 10. I think I was disappointed by the level of quality in this shoe, and maybe that's just what comes with being ultra minimalist, but the stitching doesn't look super nice. It just feels cheap. Price, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. It's also very inexpensive. It's 109 bucks. So, for what you get, that's normal price of a shoe. Daddy factor, I'm gonna give these a 6 out of 10. They're not doing it for me. Doesn't mean they won't do it for you. If you're just looking for a solid barefoot sneaker, then this is what you want right here. Total wellness study score of 35 35 out of 50. All right, another one by Origo. This is the retro sneaker. These are more of a kind of leather dress shoe. So if you have, a nice event, big dinner you got to go to, then this might be the shoe for you. If you need to dress up your barefootness a little bit, then you got some nice leather. I don't know about you, but I've always hated dress shoes. I hate how they feel. I hate how they look. I'm just not a fan. And so it's nice though that if I have to wear dress shoes, I have something that looks decent and it's got the wide toe box, so it's not gonna crush my feet. Steez, I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10 just because it's a dress shoe. It's not bad, it's not ugly, it just is what it is. If you can find a better dress shoe, drop it down below in the comments. I'd love to check it out because currently I'm just not very excited about dress shoes in general. Comfort, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It is not the most comfortable shoe in the world, but nor are any other dress shoes. So for what it is, it's definitely more comfortable because it got space. I feel like it has more support than these guys right here. And it makes sense because it's harder. Quality, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Very, very nice shoe. Like when you touch it, it's like that rich mahogany, like, yes. Where's my dude with a mustache and like a top hat? Like, oh yes, yes. You can feel that there was love put into the making of this shoe. The leather is very high quality. This shoe is gonna last a long time. Daddy factor, 6 out of 10. Again, not crazy about dress shoes. These are just not shoes that I would write home about. And they're getting the job done. So I'm satisfied with that. Again, we're coming in at 35 out of 50 with the Origo Retro. Wait, did you hear that? I think that was the parasympathetic potato asking you to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified anytime we release a new video. Thanks, parasympathetic potato. Next up is gonna be the Adapt Trainer from Flux. These are my favorite barefoot shoes I've ever found. Now, some people might say, toe box isn't wide enough and there's cushion and no. I get it. I'm not a purist, okay? I'm edging my way to as barefoot as I can be, and I still like to, number one, look good. I like the aesthetic, and for me, when I'm walking around in the city, I need a little bit more cushion. These have been my go-to shoes. You can see they're beat. And this is what they look like in white. This is what they look like in black. This is a winning combination right here. Like you walk in the room, you're like, damn, that guy is invested in his feet and his look. I respect that. These shoes are not for the hardcore. These shoes are for the people who are transitioning. They're on their way to becoming Mr. Barefoot or Mrs. Barefoot. And they really do want the comfort and the aesthetic. Steez factor, 10 out of 10. These are by far the best looking barefoot shoes I have come across. I can't even tell that these are barefoot shoes. They just look like clean sneakers. Almost like tennis court shoes. Like back in the day, I used to wear skateboarding shoes. They kind of look like that. I'm so happy with the way that these look. Comfort, 10 out of 10. They're super comfortable. They have a little bit more cushion. They're not like the primo like barefoot situation, and I love it. But it has these like little bubbles on the inside, and when you put your feet in there, it's just like a nice warm hug. It's like, oh, I've missed you. I've missed the cushion. I've missed the support so much. It's not arch support. It's nothing like that. It's just a little bit of cushion. And I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Quality, I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. They're good, they're not the best. They have this really cool, breathable mesh, feels very high end. The laces are really nice. And like I said before, it's got this insole with the bumps on there. It just feels good. So I've had these for about 6 months. The soles are holding up fine. It's just they're white, so they've gotten really dirty, but I will continue to wear them until I cannot wear them any longer. And something I am noticing, they are kind of coming apart right here. It's frilling a bit. So if I had any critiques on the quality, it would really just be like, how do we make this mesh just stay a little bit longer? Price, you would think that such a good shoe would be so expensive, but it's not. It's right in the middle. It's about 128 bucks. I'm gonna give this a steal 8 out of 10. That's just right there. It's not the bargain, but it's good. It's like, that's what you pay for shoes. Last but not least is the daddy factor. And I gotta say, this is a 10 out of 10. The Flux are gonna get a total wellness daddy score of 47 out of 50. That might be the highest Wellness Daddy score I've given. It's a great product. I love these shoes, and you'll love them too if you decide to get them. By the way, if you want to get any of these shoes, there'll be links down below. Yes, those are affiliate links, and you get a discount for most of them. So it does help support me if you use those links, and it takes a lot of work to make these videos. So thank you in advance for support. Next is going to be my second favorite, and that is the Primus Asanas from Vivobarefoot. Vivobarefoot is the 800-pound gorilla in the market when it comes to barefoot shoes. And I gotta say, I love these shoes. I've worn many of Vivobarefoot, and these are some of my favorite that I've ever had. They're pretty barefoot, so just be ready for that. It has a wide toe box, but not the widest. So if you have super wide feet, this might not be the shoe for you. But if you want something that looks good, is very functional, very athletic, Vivo makes great shoes for those exact people. So let's talk about the steeze factor. These, to me, 10 out of 10. These are some of the cleanest barefoot shoes I've ever seen. They're just fresh. I feel like Vivo, they're getting it. They're like, okay, we've got this style. We're figuring out what people like. Even like the way the tongue is designed, it's got this cool like little sock almost that like hugs your feet, and it's just very sporty and it's just a vibe. Like I just love the way that these shoes look. They don't look like barefoot shoes, and I get compliments when I wear these. For comfort, I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10. They're very comfortable. They are also very barefoot. So again, if you haven't had a lot of experience with barefoot shoes, these might not be the ones for you. If you walk a lot, your feet might start to hurt after a while. They're not as comfortable as Flux, but they're pretty dang comfortable. They just fit like a glove. They fit really, really well, and they still have that space in the toe box to really splay and spread your toes, but not to the point where you feel like you're walking in clown shoes. And for quality, I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10. Vivo makes really great shoes. People complain about their shoes like wearing out quickly, but I have not had that experience. In my case, I usually wear the hell out of my Vivobarefoots, and they'll last me a year, year and a half, sometimes even 2 years. So I think they're really, really high quality. They use a lot of recycled stuff. That's a whole nother thing, but in my experience, I love the way that they're made. They feel good. So the price for these are also pretty good. Not that much more than the Flux, only 130 bucks. So I'm gonna give these a solid 8 out of 10 as well. It's right there in the middle. This is like how much shoes cost. Like we're not talking about anything special here. It's a normal price shoe. That's great. Daddy factor, 10 out of 10. I love these shoes. This is just a dope shoe. Like I'm excited about this shoe. I get compliments on this shoe. Thank you, Vivo, for making such a good shoe. Vivo Asanas are gonna get a total wellness daddy score of 45 out of 50. That's good. Next up, Primus Lite All Weather. These shoes are dope. They've lasted me forever. They're great for different environments, especially going hiking and stuff where you're gonna be in the elements a little bit more. They're not as good looking as some of the other ones we just talked about, but they're up there and they're gonna last a long time. They're very high quality. Let's get into it. So I would say the all weather, these guys are more for the outdoorsy, athletic, sporty, we're going into nature, we're doing something. I think that's more who this is for. These are also better shoes for the wintertime opposed to some of these ones that have, you know, holes and are made from mesh. This stuff's gonna get ruined in the water quickly. So you're gonna need some alternatives during the winter, or something that just has a little bit more staying power. This might be a good option for you. Steez, I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. They are a good looking shoe. I'm not embarrassed to wear them, and like they could be better. Toe box isn't super wide. It's very barefoot, but not as barefoot as like these guys or as these guys. So it's not gonna crush your feet if you're wearing these all day. I would say this is intermediate. Comfort, I'm also gonna give it a 7 out of 10. They are comfortable. Like I said before, not as barefoot as these, not as cozy as these. These fall somewhere in the middle. They fit well. I like the way my feet feel inside of them, and like they're a little bit more stiff, okay? But for good reason. You want that stiffness, or some of you are gonna want that stiffness for different occasions. Quality, 9 out of 10. These things lasted me forever. Technically, I could still wear them. I just have so many better options now. I don't wear them as much, but I wore these like nonstop for like 2 years. You're gonna get some miles in these. For price, I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10. They're $165, so we're starting to get up there. It's definitely more expensive than some of these other ones, but I think they're gonna last a really, really long time. So for daddy factor, I'm gonna give these a 8 out of 10. It's a really, really great shoe. I think you're gonna be really happy with it. I love these shoes. They're not the best, they're not my favorite, but they're really, really solid. That gives these a total wellness daddy score of 38 out of 50. Okay, last but not least, it's gonna be the Primus Knit Lites. These are some incredible shoes. I am obsessed with these and how they look. This is the newer one. It's a new design, I should say, just new style with this blue, green, sort of faded look against this cream white. It's just delicious. That's what it is. These were the original pair that I had. I had the black and white versions. When these are brand new, I loved the way that these looked. And I beat these to These went all over the world with me. These are very hardcore, low support, super minimalist shoes. There's not much there for you, so might be something you need to work up to. These that I had are super comfortable. I think I need to break these in a little bit more before I can increase that comfort. As far as the steez goes, I'm gonna give these a 9 out of 10. They're beautiful shoes. Very sporty, very athletic looking, and they just have so many good attributes to them that make them really just attractive looking shoes, and you're not gonna be embarrassed wearing these. Actually, you're gonna be pumped because you're gonna love the way you look, I guarantee it. Decent toe box, nothing crazy, so you're not going clown mode. If you have the super wide foot, might not be the shoe for you. Can you guys see the difference in those? It's a big, big difference. 9 out of 10 on the steez factor. Comfort, I'm gonna give these a 6 out of 10. They're not as comfortable as the Asanas. The Asanas actually have this nice little cork insole, which I really like. It's not much support, but it's a little bit, and it's enough to make a difference. And these cork soles are supposed to help with the smell. This sole, I have a big problem with. Every time I try to put my foot in there, it just gets all crinkled up. And I don't know why it does this. Maybe because it's a recycled thing, I don't know, but it's just like, it doesn't fit very well. And then when I put my foot in, it just creates all different types of problems. It's an everyday battle for me with this one. Maybe it would be different with yours, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried the Primus knits and you have issues with the soles. As far as the quality goes, though, I'll say 9 out of 10. They're very nice. They feel great. They look great. And the other ones that I had, they lasted me forever. For price, I'm gonna give these a 6 out of 10. We're getting up there now. 175 bucks for these bad boys. These are the most expensive ones out of the group that I have. 175 bucks, yeah, it's significant for a pair of shoes, especially minimalist shoes. Daddy factor, I'm gonna give these an 8 out of 10. Wonderful shoes, beautiful shoes. If you're good with the barefoot, like the super thin sole, then these could be great, great shoes. They look good. You'll just be proud. Especially this green one, man. It's just got these like tiger stripes on the back. I'm just like, ooh, so primal. I'm stoked about these. That's gonna give these Primus Lite knits a total wellness edge score of 38 out of 50. So lucky for us, there's an incredible amount of barefoot shoe companies that are coming out. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments what your favorites are, and I'll try to get in touch with them and be able to do some more reviews for you. If you found this video helpful and you want to get some of these, again, links are down below. Help support me, saves you money. Everybody wins. Everyone should be happy. And if you like this video and you're into the whole barefoot thing, then I know you're gonna like this video I did with the Barefoot Sprinter, where he spent 8 years in barefoot shoes and helped thousands of people improve their feet and get back to running. So go check out that video, and I'll see you in that next video. Take care, peace, be well.